It's time for Saturday Sports Scoreboard, hosted by David Heath on Radio Italia Uno 87.6. If sport's your passion, then you're in the right place. Scores from across the globe, the country and locally. Interviews, comment, your calls and plenty of fun. So let's introduce the host of our show. Here's Heathy.
Well, very good afternoon and welcome to my lounge room. I'm David Heath. With me is Mark Aston for Radio Italia Uno's Saturday afternoon sports scoreboard program.
Hi, David.
And the reason we're here is that most listeners to Saturday afternoon sports scoreboard would know that I've been unable to host the program in the last couple of months because of my foot injury. And just as a throwaway line to Mark, during the week I said, look, I can't come to the show, so why don't you bring the show to me? He took me seriously, and so sure enough, we're set up with Ron and Karen Fiedler.
Beautiful.
In my lounge room
And
here
it's
at Dulwich.
And it's cosy. It's not big, but it's cosy.
It's only a small lounge room, and it suits me fine.
It's perfect for one
But
person.
it's comfortable, isn't it?
It's perfect for one person rather than six.
Well, there's 4 at the moment. There'll be a 5th joining us very, very soon, and there could be more as the afternoon progresses.
And I think
because
Ron's just getting up to leave.
He's had enough already. We're only 90 seconds into the show.
Thanks, Ron.
And he's
already
leaving
moving things, yes.
As long as he leaves the equipment, we're fine. Because just leave it switched on and we'll carry on for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we can do on Saturday afternoon sports scoreboard on Radio Italia Uno today is, if you wish, you can actually also watch us live on the Radio Italia Uno Facebook page.
Well, that's the point of this, isn't it?
Yes, well, it's a bit of an experiment for the radio station.
How do you
isn't
think it's going so far?
Well, I think we're 2 minutes, 3 minutes in. I think I've been great so far.
And we're still on air, which is great.
Your contribution hasn't been effusive just yet.
So,
However,
my question,
you have made some. Are the cameras on, Ron?
Of course they're on.
Mark has made some wonderful sandwiches.
The camera's on
to share with.
No,
the guests.
we've just spent the last 3 hours here to do it Facebook Live.
That's
and the
right.
cameras are off. So we started off for the first minute with you with headphones on.
Well, yes, and it's just something that I've always done during my my many years of working in radio and community radio. I've always preferred to have the headphones on, but I've taken them off because I didn't want you to feel bad that I was wearing them and you weren't.
No. You took them off because
I couldn't hear a damn thing through them.
And
so
what
took
did I
them
say to you prior to the show starting? I
You
said,
won't need them.
You won't need them.
Well, it's a bit of a. But when you're in radio and you put the headphones on, it's a bit of a security blanket. Now, but you're the TV guy, so I need to ask you a piece of advice.
Sure.
Should we be looking at each other and the guest when the guests arrive? Because the guests will be sitting next to you there on the couch. Or do we look at the cameras? What do we do?
Okay, so let me give you a couple of techniques, right? Let me give you a couple of techniques. Rom's just walked in from outside and give us the thumbs up, which presumably means we're going to air, which is really, to be honest, Rom, congratulations. And Karen, that was really our goal. Now, so what you need
The first goal was to successfly get to air, which we've done. I think our first guest's arriving too.
He has. So before we introduce Charlie, just grab a seat there, Charlie. So that was quite pushy of you, really, wasn't it?
It was.
So what I'd advise you to do is this, right? Look at each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But don't. Oh, Charlie's sitting down. Oh, hi, Charlie.
Well, do you want me to stand up?
Well, no. I was just going to introduce you. We're trying to run a really. What's this? What's going on here?
Well, I just had.
You've done your shoulder. You've been in hospital.
And I was up in the shed.
Yeah.
So I just had to grab something because I wasn't sure if you're not telecast, is it?
Oh, we are telecasting, Charlie.
So she'll murder me.
No, that's okay. And Charlie, just on the issue of when you said to me, and I just with David, that was the whole point of this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, did you think you were just coming over for a sort of a barbecue or something? Hey, just hang on one second.
Which we haven't actually done.
It's a nice day for it.
I'm going to introduce you in a second. I'm just teaching David something, and we need to do it. You're not going anywhere, right?
No.
So, David, when we're just grab one. So when we're you're right.
Yeah.
So when
They're
we're
corned beef, aren't they?
Yeah.
Did you do a bit of mustard, or were they just called beef?
Protein.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, so we were talking about
Your coffee?
No, all right, thank you.
You were giving me some tips on the whole
What about
TV
some
side of things.
What about a fight? So what we need to do is very fundamental, right? So we want to include the audience.
Yes.
Now the worst way, the way that you don't include the audience is do what we're doing now.
All right. So
hang on.
Right. Okay.
Talk all the time
Yes.
to each other.
No.
So occasionally you'll need to. You're right to move your. You okay with your neck?
Yes.
So-
apart from the leg and the ankle, everything else is fine.
So hang on, Ron's telling me something.
Talk to the microphone. Stefano says it's a bit echoey.
Oh,
so
I think
you need
Steph-
to just move it around.
Yeah, what? So we move it each time?
Yeah,
No, I don't
sort
think
of,
we'll be
no.
doing that.
You do
We'll
what you
we'll
need
make
to
an
do.
executive call on that.
Okay.
So just we've got to get this right.
Yes.
Just look at the camera occasionally to make sure.
Where's the camera?
Oh, Charlie.
Well, there's three.
It's up here at the
There's one up there
There's
in the
one up
top
there.
corner. That's all of us.
Yeah.
This one here is on me.
Oh, I
and I think
see.
Ron's currently using camera number 3
Yeah.
to talk to
And-
Stefano back in the studio.
And that one there is a camera as well, Charlie. And
Oh,
and if
righto.
ever you see one of them
Shut
inside
them
your
out.
house, I'd ring the CIA. So let me just complete this. So
Yes.
that's how you include.
So a little bit of looking at you and the guest, and a little bit
Yeah.
of looking at the camera as
All
well.
right. So
Right,
shall I
okay.
introduce Charlie?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Charlie, thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure.
We're really pleased that you have. So, I met Charlie many years ago when Charlie was the national coach for the Australian cycling team, and of course Charlie has since retired from that role, but was unbelievably successful, and has done so much more than that,
Absolutely.
including mentoring coaches and players. And I said this, Charlie, you'll find this, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you're looking at something. So I noticed that there's no paintings on the wall there.
I took them down because I felt that
Yeah.
you and some of the guests here this afternoon, weren't all that trustworthy and might steal them. So I took them all down.
You'll find this
My
funny.
Picasso's currently.
You've been talking about me, haven't you?
You'll find this funny, but when David said I've never met Charlie before, what's he like? I said it's really interesting. It's sort of a dichotomy because you're so passive and casual and relaxed in these situations, and yet most of us have seen Charlie coaching, talking to an athlete prior to an attempt at an Olympic gold medal, coaching them, getting them on the bike and stuff. You are two different people, aren't you, in a lot of ways?
No, you'd still tend to be in control, passive in control. You need to be, because you. How do you want an athlete to manage themselves? Is what you've got to put to them. So if you think you're a different person to what the demands of the competition are, then you've got to come back to what the competition demands are, and ensure that you equip the athlete in that way, both in physical, psychological, and all of those aspects.
But there must have been times though where you needed to really dress down someone. Are you saying that you do it in a different way to someone who's super aggressive toward them?
Not as an individual, because you're having a confrontation in that circumstance, and an athlete doesn't need that. As a group, if you reflect, then they can make a decision with he talking to me or talking to them or something like that. But generally, no, very rarely. Very rarely, I would say never ever lost control.
Really?
Really.
Have you had athletes that have lost control?
Probably all the
They
time.
have their, they'll have their little moment, and then you make a decision as how you'll manage that. But I would never ever. I'd probably usually maybe let it slide, and then you talk about it later, maybe days later.
So you time it well.
If I seen something that I thought wasn't right, sometimes I would say nothing.
Yeah.
And there's a very powerful communication, the hidden communication, exceedingly powerful. And they know that they haven't done it right. Because ultimately the athlete will decide what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And so we can put it to them. What you've got to do is set up in an environment that they actually want to challenge themselves. And that is the utmost key. Is self-challenge. If you can't challenge yourself, then at the top level, you're in trouble.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Was coaching something that you felt you were always going to do, or did you sort of fall into it?
Fell into it.
Okay.
He was a butcher before this.
No, it was not.
See, I would have believed that.
Yeah.
I was just about, oh, really?
Yeah. I actually did a trade in fitting and turning,
Yep.
and then 2 years advanced study. And then after 15 years in industry, I went back to school and then took up teaching in the trade,
Right.
which involved, it became very complex trade with, you know, measuring with light waves and your computers and everything else coming in. You've got to equip yourself to be able to handle that,
Yeah.
to do that. So it meant that your studies are virtually ongoing. And
How old were you then? How old were you when you got out of that?
got out at, I'd say, about 30 I went into teaching,
Yep.
and about 40, no, it was probably, how long was I teaching? 15 years, yeah, so probably 45, no, a bit earlier than that, I fell into coaching.
Yeah.
Talked into it just at a time when I was a little bit of a loss.
In cycling?
In cycling, yes, in cycling.
Yep.
And
Because you cycled, Charlie. You got a whole
oh, yeah,
history
I
of
raced,
cycling.
I raced,
You raced
25,
yourself, yeah,
I
you
had
did.
25 years,
Yeah.
64 state championships.
Did you win 64 state championships?
Yeah, we just said that.
In all different disciplines.
We're actually not worthy, you and I, sitting here at the moment, are
No,
we?
see, I've just been doing some writing, and I wrote up my cycling history from what my wife kept notes of and what my parents kept notes
Yep.
of, and so you combined all that together, and when you start looking at it, you think,
There's
geez,
a bit there.
that'll never be broken.
Well, when you post,
It won't
when some people post on Facebook, there's some particularly recently, some fantastic old photos of you. I'd say old, 20, 30, 40 years ago, Charlie. Yeah, I know, sorry. But seriously, and they're brilliant photos. They're brilliant photos. You with star athletes, you training, all of this stuff. It's brilliant. Are you writing a book? Is that what you're indicating or not?
I have already written, so I wrote up 1993. From the day we started preparing in 1993,
Yep.
with basically what they did. I've got records of their training. I've got about 3 brown big cupboards full of
Wow.
notes at home
Wow.
that my wife has kept.
Yeah. Come in, Wayne.
And so I've managed to,
Isn't that fantastic?
so 330 pages on 1 year,
Yeah.
Right.
which involves that, but also the politics.
You know Wayne Phillips,
That
Of
is-
course.
That is horrendous.
Well, if you
You know
going
Wayne, of course. We can't see him yet, but we'll see him in a
Hello.
moment.
very kindly wore a
Thanks,
mask, which was nice of him.
This is
Of
Karen.
course.
This is Karen, and this is Ron.
But then, Charlie, if you're going to write your story, it has to include the politics, doesn't it?
It does.
Because it was underlying pretty much all the time.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
You didn't write the politics, did you?
No, I didn't write it. I was part of it, and it's even now. I've just picked out some notes way back in 1991. Oh, that happened because of that, because of that, because of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm so much, and always was, a bit narrow in your thinking and head down, confined, that you don't see some of these things that are taking place.
Yep.
Who's making the decisions and why they're making them. And so you start to see.
It's all right. Sorry, Charlie. I moved that.
Now, does Ron want to go to a break?
But you're ready.
Yeah, we'll go to a break.
We'll go to a break.
Do you
Come
want
back
to?
with Charlie.
Do you want to throw to the break? It's just because Ron and the big fella and I haven't been.
He's just forgotten my name.
No, Heathy and I
Bill,
haven't.
wasn't it?
Heathy and I haven't done this before. So do you want to just say something like, "This is Saturday Sports Scoreboard. We'll be back after this." We'll keep it simple. Do you want to try that?
I'm not sure I can remember that.
Right.
This is
I certainly can't.
This is Saturday afternoon sports scoreboard. See you directly.